Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to AM News on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Anieti Patrick. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and on StarTimes channel 276. Now the news in full. President Bola Tinubu has returned to Abuja after participating in the Akwaaba process heads of state and government level meeting held in Rome, Italy. There, world leaders gathered to strengthen cooperation against terrorism and violent extremism. According to State House press release issued by the President's Special Advisor on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga, says the President's trip to Rome reaffirmed Nigeria's commitment to regional and global security partnerships. The Progressive Governors Forum has reaffirmed its unwavering commitment to the vision and reform agenda of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, describing it as the cornerstone of Nigeria's development strategy. In a communique issued at the end of its two-day meeting held in Birin Kebbi, the forum pledged full alignment with the Renewed Hope agenda, vowing to harmonize state-level policies with federal government's priorities on economic transformation, social inclusion, and sustainable development. The meeting, chaired by PGF National Chairman and Imo State Governor Senator Hope Uzodinma, brought together governors elected on the platform of the All Progressives Congress, APC, from across the country. The communique highlighted three key resolutions. First, the governors' commitment to sustaining and replicating priority federal projects within their respective states to ensure nationwide development impact. Second, they reaffirmed their resolve to maintain one message, one future, strengthening coordination between federal and state governments, enhancing interstate cooperation, and promoting people-centered governance and institutional integrity. Third, they pledged renewed support for APC's internal democracy, policy coherence, and institutional consolidation. Now to the legislature. The Nigerian Senate has restated its commitment to mediating the ongoing dispute between the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, and the federal government. This was disclosed by the chairman of the Senate Committee on Tertiary Institutions and TETFON, Senator Mutari Danduse, Katsina South, stressing the urgent need for students to return to schools while negotiations continue. Here's Senate correspondent Topsy Gimba with the details.
Senator Danduse, who led the Senate delegation in the meeting with ASU representatives, said the engagement was aimed at finding a balanced resolution to the lingering impasse. He explained that the Senate has drawn up a mediation framework to address the crisis, which includes immediate negotiation between ASU and the Ministry of Education and NUC.
And on our resolution, the Senate is not happy that the agreement by the government to ASU has not been fulfilled.
Senator Danduse added that the Senate is determined to ensure that government commitments are met and the academic activity resumed without further delay. He said the priority is the future of the Nigerian students and the stability of the nation's tertiary institution.
We want the leadership of ASU to write all the issues they raise in our discussion so that we can pass the Ministry of Education together with them by Tuesday or Wednesday to ensure that our children are back to school.
Also speaking, Senator Karimi Sunday highlighted the progress made in ongoing negotiations. Senator Sunday stressed that the Senate would continue to push for improvements in staff welfare and educational funding.
They have agreed to increase the allowance to 35%, which they still felt they are not comfortable with, that it should go up a bit. And we spoke to them so that we can reach an agreement. Also, they talk about taxing.
In his remarks, Senator Adams Oshomole underscored the need for sincerity on all sides. He pointed out that issues affecting academic work, such as taxation on essential materials, could be resolved through good faith negotiations. Oshiomhole further warned that Nigeria must take deliberate steps to retain its brightest minds within the university system.
Before then, it would be nice if our children of the poor, I emphasize children of the poor, because the not so poor, their children are not here, so that they can be back to school.
Meanwhile, ASUU President Professor Chris Piwana Guson acknowledged that Senate's mediation efforts but maintained that the government's latest salary proposal remains outside the framework earlier agreed upon. Professor Piwana reiterated that any decision to suspend strike action rests with union members.
That document that was submitted in December 2024 is one that was unattended to until we embarked on this action.
Another meeting between the union and the government is scheduled for over the weekend, with hopes that amicable compromise will be paved the way for students to return to classroom. Topsy Gimba, reporting for Global Television News.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has met with Masad Bolo's senior advisor to U.S. President Donald Trump on Arab and African affairs in Rome. Talks focused on strengthening bilateral relations, boosting trade and energy cooperation, as well as attracting U.S. investments to Nigeria. Bolos praised Tinubu's economic reforms while the president reaffirmed his commitment to partnerships that drive sustainable growth and regional stability. President Bola Tinubu has reaffirmed his commitment to addressing the challenges confronting Nigerians and ensuring sustainable development across the country. The president made this known during the flag-off ceremony of a road construction project in the FCT. Kabir Hassan has the details.
At the flag-off ceremony attended by top government officials, community leaders and residents, the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, called on Nigerians to be good citizens by supporting government initiatives and promoting anything that will contribute to the national development. He emphasized the president's commitment to solving the challenges facing Nigeria and ensuring that the renewed hope agenda delivers meaningful results to the people.
He's going to solve the entire problems of Nigeria, but he's going to put Nigeria on the path of positive development. So good citizens should be able to carry out their own responsibility by calling government attention. Not everything you go to social media. Everybody should support the government to make sure the right things are done and positive results are being achieved.
The minister emphasizes the government commitment to infrastructure development, stating that the newly launched project will ease traffic congestion, enhance connectivity, and promote economic activities within the area, while assuring residents of timely completion and quality delivery within the specified project duration. Kabir Hassan, reporting for Global TV News.
And to Benue, the Benue State Investment and Property Company, BIPC, has commenced juice production at its factory recently revitalized by the Executive Governor Hyacinth Alia. The milestone was marked during a successful test run of the factory located at the industrial layout in Makurdi. Benue State correspondent Felicity Ndere reports.
For years, fruit waste, particularly oranges and mangoes, has been a major challenge in Benue State, resulting in significant economic losses for farmers due to the absence of preservation and processing facilities. For farmers, the establishment of this fruit processing plant by the Alia administration aims to add value to farm produce and drastically reduce post-harvest losses.
Before then, the bag of orange was 2,000 and 1,500. But with the coming of this company, we are sure that the orange will move from here to upward. And the farmers shall also get value for their products.
The lead technician revealed that the plant has the capacity to produce up to 4 tons of juice per hour, noting that the project would curb post-harvest losses and guarantee better returns for farmers.
And we are also going to make sure that post-harvest losses are brought to minimal and every farmer within the state will get true value for their orchards. After refinery processing, supposed to go to evaporator for concentration. So the capacity of the product is 4 tons per hour.
After tasting the first batch of juice, the Group Managing Director of BIPC, Dr. Raymond Asimakaha, expressed delight and commended Governor Alia for reviving the long-abandoned factory and repositioning it for productivity.
This is a plant that we feel that with the capital injection that we're injecting in this place, we will ensure that our people have value. We will make sure that our fruits have value proposition. Farmers will begin to enjoy their money. People will begin to have work. We have been working morning and night to ensure that we show the world that it is possible that Benue is on the rising, and that is what you have today. This is the juice. And the oil, we are going to also use it and export it and have FS. The chaffs, we are also going to use it for our organic fertilizer. And just then, there's no wastage here.
The revitalization of Benfruit is among several industrial revival projects initiated by the earlier administration to drive agro-industrial growth and strengthen Benue's economy. Felicity Ndere reporting for Global Television News.
Away from that, stakeholders in Nigeria's aviation sector have expressed strong support for the proposed law establishing the African Aviation and Aerospace University in Abuja. The industry players are backing the proposed legislation to establish the African Aviation and Aerospace University in Abuja. The move, they say, is vital to tackling the growing manpower shortage threatening the future of the sector. Here is our correspondent with the details. At a public hearing organized by the House Committee on Aviation Technology, key players from government, academia, and the aviation industry described the proposed African Aviation and Aerospace University as a game changer for human capital development. Representing the Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, the Permanent Secretary Dr. Ibrahim Abubakar said the institution aligns with government's vision of positioning Nigeria as a regional training hub for aviation and aerospace studies.
Africa must develop its own high-level aviation and aerospace capacity to drive safely, innovation and competitiveness in the global industry.
Registrar of the University Dr. Mustafa Abubakar said has secured accreditations from NUC and JAM and already run several undergraduate and postgraduate programs.
That the passage of the AAAU establishment bill will, one, provide a firm legal foundation for the university's continued growth and sustainability.
From Zaria, Rector of Nigerian College of Aviation Technology, Captain Danjuma Ismail, said the new university will complement existing training institutions and expand research capacity in the industry. Declaring the hearing open, Speaker Tajuddin Abbas and Committee Chairman Tajuddin Abisodun both affirmed that the bill will strengthen Nigeria's aviation sector and ensure accountability and autonomy in the university governance.
I think this is a wonderful idea and they should have the support of stakeholders. This bill is not merely about the creation for another academic institution. It is about laying the foundation for a future where Nigeria becomes a continental leader.
With the bill now before the House, stakeholders say its passage will set Nigeria on course to becoming Africa's aviation knowledge hub. Anieti Patrick, reporting for Global TV. The federal government says the recent drop in food prices across the country is a direct result of increased local production and sustained agricultural interventions under the Tinubu administration. Minister of State for Agriculture and Food Security, Senator Aliu Sabi Abdullahi, stated this in Abuja during a sensitization walk to mark the 2025 World Food Day. Here is our correspondent with the report. It was a day of awareness and celebration in Abuja as farmers, development partners, and government officials took part in the World Food Day sensitization walk promoting sustainable food systems and healthy diets for Nigerians.
Produce what we eat and eat what we produce.
Addressing journalists after the walk, Minister of State for Agriculture and Food Security, Senator Aliyu Sabi Abdullahi, said the drop in food prices is a reflection of improved local harvests and the success of government-led agricultural initiatives. He debunked claims that the government imported food to force prices down, clarifying that the limited imports window approved last year was only to bridge short-term gaps in production.
We are looking at food security for our citizens. That is the overall interest of government. And if food is available, accessible, but not affordable, whoever is involved in the non-affordability will tell you he's not food secure. And yet, we want an economy and a country where everybody is inclusively included in whatever we are doing.
The minister also credited the release of over 2 million bags of fertilizer and other farm inputs last year, following President Bola Tinubu's directive as key drivers of the improved output and reduced production costs. He added that newly procured Belarus tractors will soon be deployed nationwide through mechanization service centers to further support smallholder farmers and boost productivity.
Through the agricultural mechanization service centers that are going to come on board, they can have access to the service of these tractors. The cost of their production can come down, but most importantly, they will have experts who will lay their farm and prepare it in such a way that their productivity can be enhanced.
With local farmers driving production and new technologies taking root, the government says Nigeria is steadily moving towards a food-secure future. Anie T. Patrick, reporting for Global TV News. You're watching the live broadcast of AM News. When AM News returns, we'll bring you stories on the foreign scene, sports, and in business. Please stay with us. Welcome back. It's good to have you. In business, President of the Dangote Group, Aliko Dangote, has called on Nigerians to embrace and patronize locally made products in order to strengthen the nation's economy and promote national development. He made this known when former presidential aide Reno Omokri visited him in Lagos. Here's Ubong Usoro with the report.
President of the Dangote Group, Aliko Dangote, says increased patronage of made-in-Nigerian products would create jobs and reduce the country's over-independence on imported goods. Dangote noted that Nigeria has the capacity to produce most of the goods currently being imported if local manufacturers are adequately supported. He explained that excessive importation weakens the naira and puts pressure on the economy, while local production drives industrial growth and economic resilience.
I want to encourage all Nigerians to buy only made in Nigeria. When you buy anything made in Nigeria, you are helping to create jobs. And the only way for us to be a stronger nation is to patronize ourselves and be buying made in Nigeria only, so that we can encourage great jobs and prosperity.
The industrialists also urge government at all levels to introduce policies that will encourage production, address power challenges, and support small and medium-scale enterprises. Dangote emphasized that for Nigeria to attain global competitiveness, citizens must embrace locally made products just like other countries by prioritizing homegrown production. Ubong Usoro for Global Television.
The Federation Accounts Allocation Committee, FAC, has shared 2.103 trillion naira in September 2025 revenue among the federal, state, and local governments. The total included 1.239 trillion naira from statutory revenue, 812 billion naira from VAT, and 51 billion naira from the electronic money transfer levy. FAC's communique said the federal government received 711 billion naira, state 727 billion naira, and local governments 530 billion naira, with 134 billion naira allocated to all producing states as derivation revenue. And on the foreign scene, Ivory Coast has imposed a 2-month ban on political rallies ahead of next week's presidential election, citing national security concerns. The Interior and Defense Ministries announced the ban after protests erupted over the exclusion of opposition figures Laurent Gbagbo and Tajin Tian from the race. Authorities say over 700 people have been arrested in recent unrest, while Amnesty International has urged the government to stop repressing dissent. Ukraine President Volodymyr Zelensky has left Washington without securing Tomahawk cruise missiles after talks with U.S. President Donald Trump. Trump said the United States would not take steps that could escalate the war, calling instead for both sides to stop where they are. The meeting came a day after Trump's phone call with Russian President Vladimir Putin, as Zelensky warned that long-range missiles could cripple Moscow's war economy. And in sports, Nigeria's Super Eagles have climbed 4 places to 41st in the latest FIFA Men's World Rankings, breaking into Africa's top 5. The team's recent victories over Lesotho and Benin Republic boosted their points tally and secured a spot in the 2026 World Cup playoffs. On the continent, Morocco, Senegal, Egypt, and Algeria led the top 4, with Nigeria rounding out Africa's best 5 teams. Former Vice President and presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Atiku Abubakar, has reaffirmed his unwavering commitment to youth empowerment through sports. He made this known when officials of the Nigerian University Games Association paid him a courtesy visit ahead of the 27th edition of the Games. Here's Samuel Odi with the report.
As Nigeria prepares for the 27th Nigerian University Games billed to host over 11,000 student-athletes from 220 universities, including the American University of Jos, the momentum is building towards what promises to be one of the most exciting university sporting events in recent years. The former Vice President, Atiku Abubakar, commended the organizers for keeping the spirit of university sports alive. He emphasized that sporting activities remain vital in nurturing young talent, fostering discipline, and promoting national unity.
Sports is a major physical activity in our youth. And of course, we all know that sports can contribute in many ways, in the development of a nation. If you develop sports, you also develop the youth, and vice versa.
Leading a delegation to the former Vice President, the Vice Chancellor of the University of Jos, Professor Tanko Isia, said preparation for the game were in top gear. He said facilities and logistics were being fine-tuned to meet international standards.
We designed our facility in a way that by the time we implement those facilities, Your Excellency, any sports, international sports that will be coming to Nigeria, they will want to come and do some of the sports in Jos.
The chief consultant for NUGA 2025, Obed Bella, expressed optimism that the Jos edition will not only showcase athletes' excellence, but also strengthen peace and unity across the region.
To be a lasting legacy that will promote education and sports. And while we've looked at Jos as being the center of a crisis, and we felt the narrative must be changed with the NUGA, and that is our focus.
With the countdown now on, the University of Jos is set to welcome thousands of athletes, coaches, and officials to a celebration of talent, teamwork, and enduring power of sport to inspire a new generation of Nigerian leaders. Samuel Odi for Global Television News.
And that's it on Global TV AM News. A quick reminder, the Global TV is on DSTV channel 365 and on StarTimes channel 276. Kindly follow us across all our social media platforms now showing on your screen using @Global TV NJ. I am Annie T. Patrick. Thank you for being a part of the news.